It's live.
All right. Hey, cheers to Governor Steve Bullock. Welcome to Philadelphia.
It's great to be with you, Michael.
And your old haunt, right? The Irish pub of Philadelphia?
Yeah, I lived right across the street. Now it's a parking garage. Right out of college, I moved out to Philadelphia. Lived here, and my apartment was so small that this was my kitchen, my living room, my meeting room. Everything I would do was at the Irish pub.
You could do a lot worse.
You know, you could. And, you know, it's a little change, though, because Rolling Rock used to not even be on tap. It was just those big green bottles from Latrobe, Pennsylvania.
With the 33 on
33.
So that was your beer of choice when you were here?
Oh, I think that was...
Everybody's beer of
choice. You know, 'cause you'd have the bucket of rock nights. I think it was everybody's beer of choice. We're just talking about, you know, back then, think about it like maybe a Lowenbrow was exotic. We didn't have all these IPAs.
Right. Here's to
like
good
that.
friends. Yeah,
That's
I
right.
remember. So what were you doing in Philadelphia then?
So I got out of college. Had always planned on going to law school. So I've been, for whatever reason, since like third grade, didn't even know a lawyer, but like I wanted to be a lawyer. And practicing for the LSAT, somehow I blew it so bad, I wasn't even qualified to watch law like my senior year. And I think I always say I was one bubble off.
Right.
So then I had to decide, all right, I'm not going to go to law school. What am I going to do? So I started interviewing at companies and business. New York ended up too much for me. Found a company in Philadelphia who was connected to Reliance Insurance Companies,
Sure.
United Pacific Financial. And I came here and for 2 years. And I mean, back since the late 80s, Philadelphia was just such a blue-collar friendly town that I loved it.
Well, funny thing is, so if you were here in the late 80s, I was here in the late 80s because that's just when I graduated from law school. You may remember because it sounds like it took place when you were here. 1987, we had Frank Rizzo's attempt at reclaiming City Hall against Wilson Good. And this was in the general election. Rizzo had become a Republican. I was his political director.
Oh, I'll be darned.
I had just gotten out of law school.
Yeah.
Wilson Good was the only person, actually this is the way the record ended, the only person to ever defeat Rizzo in an election.
Wilson Good.
And Rizzo had become a Republican, thought that he could keep the Democrats in his column, benefit from Republicans and win. And we lost by a razor margin. But this was my place too, especially on Thursday nights.
Because that was Bucket Rock nights, or what? I can't remember what Thursday nights were.
I don't. Mark O'Connor. What was Thursday night?
Bucket of Rocks.
All right.
Yeah.
Mark is our proprietor, by the way, a really good friend. And Governor, the thing you need to know about Mark, apart from this being a great place, institution really, is that he has run for how many years?
32.
For 32 years in the summer, a bike trip from right here to Atlantic City.
Oh, no kidding.
65 miles,
Yeah.
all the money to charity, mostly police charities. I did it for a number of years. My final year, my 12-year-old and I were on a tandem. And then I retired after
You
that.
said enough's enough.
I said enough is enough. But I did it 1 year with all 3 sons, which was phenomenal. But it all happens here, I guess is my point.
Yeah, I mean, you and I might have been at this bar together back
It's
then.
wild.
What are the chances?
Okay, so in that era of your life, were you thinking, I am going to be the governor of Montana?
In that era of my life, I was thinking, all right, I'm going to go to law school. I'm going to spend some time at the Irish pub, figure out what I want to do with my life.
Right, but you were not on a political track.
No. Well, and it's funny because, and I so love Philadelphia. Actually, worked in Center City too. Ended up doing a bunch of work with this group called the Philadelphia Committee for Homeless because we were doing just volunteer at night. But I think that I wrote after a couple of years, I enjoyed the city, but I'm not sure what I'm doing in Philadelphia working for this firm. So I bought, while I lived out here, a 1974 MGB, which I still own. And I resigned and I said, my only plans for the future are to go to Key West, Florida, have a drink at Jimmy Buffett's bar, and figure out what I want to do with my life. So I traveled for like 5 months around the country in this MG. So that might have been that time. I don't think that hatched me when we were going to go.
There's like a bar theme that runs through your life, I'm noticing. And so you still have the MG?
I still have the MG. It needs a little work right now.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you cruise that around as part of your unofficial duties?
Every now and then, yeah. Still take it out. Didn't take it out much this summer. I was traveling.
So what threw the political switch in you?
So I think, well, what got me to run, went to Columbia Law School.
Right.
I was working at a large firm in New York.
Slouch, right?
Yeah, well,
Columbia, you must have filled out that bubble.
no, yeah, somehow worked, or they just so needed Montana, it's going to take me in.
Right.
But I had this plan of staying in the city, paying off. I had what would be $175,000 in today's terms of student debt, and then decided kind of what I wanted to do. Maybe moving home. My father got stage 4 lung cancer, so
damn.
yeah, decided I needed to move home. And at the time, a law firm in Montana wouldn't even pay enough to cover my student loans. If I went to work in the government, Columbia would pay my loans. So I went to work in the cubicle at the Attorney General's office.
Wow.
I'm like standing up as a case dealing with stream access of all things. And like, my name is Bullock, I represent the people of Montana. These rivers and streams belong to all of us. I'm like, this would be the coolest job in the world. So when I was 32, 33, I ran for Attorney General. I don't think my whole family would vote for me. I got killed. I'm like, I'll never do anything like that again.
Right.
Then that kind of got the bug, and 8 years later, then I ran again for AG and won.
And then from AG to the governor's mansion.
Yeah, I ended up one term as Attorney General. Loved that job. Like, I got into politics not to run for governor or certainly president. It was just that as a lawyer, I thought this Attorney General thing. Because as a litigator, as a trial lawyer or anything else, so often you're looking backwards.
Sure.
As Attorney General, you could actually look forward using the law. So I thought, like, my whole aim was to become Attorney General, not governor. But after one term, our current governor was termed out, and there was just some things happening in Montana that I thought this place that I grew up in that I loved could change a little. So I decided to give up the job I loved to run for governor, take that risk.
The rest is history.
It worked out okay.
So I would rather talk about Rolling Rock than politics, but I want to ask.
It still tastes good too.
I want to ask a question or two about your presidential
Sure.
race as we are on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So I just read, I think, the Billings Gazette. Is that the newspaper of record?
That's in Billings.
In
yeah.
Billings, okay. And the Billings Gazette had this really nice story about how you've kind of pushed all the chips into Iowa, and it seems you're getting some return. That there are people who are on that debate stage who have far outraised you,
Yeah.
and you are ahead of them in the latest polls. So what's going on in Iowa?
Yeah, look, I always, from my perspective, even without all these debate rules, figured it's always the early states that actually define, take a big field, narrow it down. You know, you go back to 2004, 45 days out, John Kerry was at 4 points. Al Sharpton was beaten. As Iowans start to pay attention to this, and they take this real seriously, that's what's narrow. So, yeah, there's a poll that came out yesterday that had me at 4%.
Emerson poll, I think?
Emerson poll, head of the Klobuchars, the Bookers, the Harrises, sure, Warren Sanders, Biden, Buttigieg, and the indefatigable Andrew Yang
Right.
is ahead of me. But I was at 4 points. I'm showing the upward progress there. And I think that at the end of the day, we're still a little less than 4 months away from any voter express their preference. And as long as I continue to do well there, folks will say, look, here's a guy who could win states like Pennsylvania. Because if we don't win in Pennsylvania, no matter what the overall discussion is, right, we're not going to win this election.
I was in Columbus this week, and I said this on my radio show. I think that the party, the nation, miss your voice, Ryan, Delaney, Hickenlooper, all from that more moderate strand. And so many times I have seen answers to debate questions get a big ovation in the hall, whatever it might be, like Detroit, where I first saw you.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there and I'm saying, I don't know that this is going to play in the rest of the country.
Well, and I think, you know, it's interesting because after one of the debates, not the Detroit one, but like a retiree in a tumble, she goes, missing from that debate stage was my voice. And if what we do is we become a party that's sort of disconnected with the challenges of everyday Americans, like when you look at literally 60% of Americans haven't had a pay increase in real terms in 40 years. Like they're worried about not just their college debt, but they're worried about keeping their job, keeping their health care. well then I think that if we can't make that connection, sort of the challenges of everyday folks, we're not going to win this election.
Right.
So I don't, look, would I prefer to be on the debate stage? Yes, because you get more national attention. But I don't think it's going to be the debates that decide who our nominee is. I'll be damned if it's not going to be actual voters.
Sure. So before we sign off Facebook Live and finish our beers, you're walking around and you're thinking, what? If these walls, how about this question? How about this question? If these walls could talk about a young Steve Bullock, what might they tell us?
What a nice kid that Steve Bullock was. No, it was like right out of college, moving to a city, and I was sharing the story, like this is long before cell phones.
Right.
This is barely when you had cordless phones. But a friend of mine, a guy named Michael John Joseph Patrick Murphy, who I work with, Murph had a little bit more money than me. I think I showed up in Philadelphia with 2 hand-me-down suits. And Murph ended up buying a cordless big Sony phone so we could sit right there, watch sports,
right,
and still have a connection to my apartment right across the street.
It was close enough that the phone would work.
Yeah, because my house, or my apartment was literally right across the street.
And it was a tiny, tiny...
Yeah, we call it the grain silo. So it's now a parking garage, but it was a chopped up sort of building, had this old metal elevator, but my side was just a small kitchenette and like 100 square feet. But it was a grain silo because it was 1,000 cubic feet. It went way higher than even the ceiling. So I'd climb a ladder each night on sort of my platform bed up there. It was so small that that's probably one of the reasons why I wanted to put the proprietor's children through college. And I spent most of my money, I think, over here at the Irish Pub.
I was 1 block away, same era, in a nice building.
Yeah.
A nice building. I can't deny that. But I had a studio. In fact, I remember it was 1413, but there was no 13th floor, so it was really 1313 Mockingbird Lane or something. And I took a mattress and I put it in what was supposed to be a closet, and I slept on.
Is that right?
Yeah. And the only redeeming thing of my apartment was I had a fish tank. And that was really cool for about 6 months until that thing was so damn cloudy and dirty. I figured, that's it. The fish tank is gone. So it was my attempt at creating atmosphere.
Great. That's pretty great.
All right. Anything else we should say to Facebook Live?
Great to see you, Facebook Live. Great to be at the Irish Pub with Michael.
Yeah, well, how nice to have the governor of Montana back here. Hey, Mark O'Connor, get in this. Come over here for a second so everybody can get a look at you. This is my friend Mark, the proprietor. We have known each other, what? How many years? 15. 15? A good 15. So, great to be back here.
Thanks for your patronage. I got a lovely house in the suburbs now. Really appreciate that.
Did what I could for you, Mark.
And when you win, I'll keep my mouth shut. I want to be ambassador to Ireland or something really nice like that. Right? I could talk about the past at all.
That sounds fair.
All right. See you, everybody.
See you now.